Hello! In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a digital notebook using Keynote. I'll then export it as a PDF so I can import it into my note-taking app. I'm going to start by showing you an example of a notebook that I recently made. Keep in mind that you can customize the notebook to suit your own needs. I'm currently taking a Korean language course, and this is the notebook I'm currently using. What we're seeing now is my digital notebook in the Goodnotes app on my iPad. This is the cover of my notebook, which we're going to recreate. Here we see the name of the course I'm taking. It's called Expression 1 at the top. And in the bottom right-hand corner, I've added my name in Korean, Michelle. If I flip to the next page, we'll see what I'm going to refer to as the Home tab. Here I've added the name of the program, 33-Day Korean Challenge, along with a link to the program's website, 33dkc.com. If I click the link, the website will automatically launch so I can easily access information about my program. If I flip the page again, now we're at the index, where we see that I've organized the notebook into different sections: Home, Lessons, Vocabulary, Writing, Quizzes, and Resources. You can, of course, rename the sections as you see fit. Let's briefly take a look at the contents in each section. To navigate to a particular section, I can either click the title box or I can click the tab on the right. Let's look at one of my pages in the Lessons section. In this course, we have short daily lessons, so here's day 1. You can see that I've written the new words I'm learning with their definitions and notes to help me with pronunciation. I've also listed some related words and additional notes at the bottom. When I'm ready, I can flip right to day 2. Since this is a 33-day Korean challenge, I'll have a total of 33 lesson pages in this section. I've also added a link that will take me directly to the day's video lesson so I can easily access it when I'm reviewing in the future.
Hello, welcome to the day 2. How was doing your mission yesterday?
Let's look at a page I haven't filled out yet. I'll show you how to make these custom page templates. Here, for example, I've kept the top half of the page blank, but the bottom half is lined. My next section is vocabulary, where I keep a list of all the new words I'm learning along with their definitions. For the writing section, I've created manuscript paper so I can practice my handwriting and spelling. In the quizzes section, I've added various quizzes to test my knowledge. Now, I did add these quizzes within the Goodnotes app, not in Keynote. The great thing about a digital notebook is you can erase the page and retake the quiz as many times as you want. In the resources section, I have resources that are specific to this digital notebook. First, I have a copy of my color palette with the hex codes. The hex codes allow me to customize the pen colors, highlighter colors, and background colors of the text boxes in my note-taking app. Also in this section, I have some elements that I can copy and paste into blank pages of this notebook. You'll see that I used some of these elements on my daily lesson pages. Finally, I have various page templates such as lined paper and blank paper. We can create all kinds of page templates. If this were a mathematics notebook, I would also include some graph paper. We can duplicate these pages as many times as we need and move them into different sections of the notebook. So this is what I'm going to show you how to create today. Let's get started. Let's open Keynote and start a new document. We'll select Basic White. Click on the Document tab and let's change the slide size. It's important to size the slides correctly for the device you'll be using. Otherwise, the pen tools in your note-taking app will be too thin, even at their maximum setting. We're going to choose Custom Slide Size and change the dimensions to 1000 by 1290. Now use Command A to select all and delete the text boxes you see on the slide. Now let's create our cover. We're going to do that by clicking Shapes and selecting the rounded rectangle tool. Drag it to the upper left corner so its position is at 0, 0. Then click on Arrange and change the size to 960 by 1270. We'll center it on the page vertically, but we'll leave extra space on the left for the binder rings. So let's set the position to 30, 10 and change the corner radius to 80 point. Now click on Style, Fill, Image Fill. We're going to choose an image. I'll show you where I found the image I used for my cover. If you go to unsplash.com, you can find all kinds of images to download and use with no attribution required. I typed pink in the search bar and scrolled through the results until I found an image I wanted to use. I really liked this flower by Annie Spratt. If you click on that, you can download it for free. In Keynote, we'll click Choose and double-click on the image file. Now the cover should be filled with your image. Next, we'll add a drop shadow to the cover. In the Style tab, go to Shadow and select Drop Shadow. I'm going to use 6% blur, 2% offset, 50% opacity, and an angle of 315 degrees. You can adjust these settings as you wish. Next, we'll add the binder rings. I found a free download at teacherspayteachers.com, posted by CREARTPPL. If you use something different, you'll want to look for a PNG file with a transparent background. In Keynote, we'll go to Insert, Choose, and double-click on the image file. Now resize the image and double-click to bring up the crop handles. Crop it closely and then hit Enter. I'm going to uncheck Constrain Proportions and pull down on the bottom handle to make these look a little more spaced out. Now hit Command C and Command V to make a copy. Do this one more time and then line them up vertically. Select all three, right-click, and align left. Now I'm going to drag them into position. And then add a drop shadow. This time I'm going to use 2% blur, 1 point offset, 60% opacity, and an angle of 315 degrees. Now these, of course, are just my personal preferences. You can play around with the shadow settings. Right-click, group, and center them vertically on the page. Now hit Command A to select all and Command C to copy. Now we're going to edit the slide layout. Double-click the title slide and change the name to Cover. Delete all the other slide templates. We don't need those. Click in the main window, Command A, delete. We should now be looking at a blank slide. Hit Command V to paste our cover on the cover slide template. Now we're still in the Edit Slide Layout view. Click Add Slide, rename it to Page. This will be our standard template for the pages that we put in our digital notebook. Select the cover and hit Command C, Command V to add a copy of the page. Line it up with the original cover. In the Style menu, change the fill from Image Fill to Color Fill and select your paper color. I'm going to choose white, but you can select any color you like. Now click Arrange and change the size to 890 by 1240 and the position to 44:25. There should already be a drop shadow applied, and you can adjust that if you want to. Hit Command C, Command V to make another copy of this page and change the size to 884 by 1240 and the position to 44:25. Now we're going to do this one more time. Hit Command C, Command V to make another copy and change the size to 878 by 1240 and the position 44:25. So now we should have 3 stacked pages. Click on the binder rings and in the Arrange menu click Front to bring that element to the top of the stack. Next we'll add our tabs. Click Shape and choose the rounded rectangle tab. You can decide how many tabs you want and change the height appropriately so that they'll all fit on the page. I'm going to use 6 tabs, so I'll size them 80 by 150. Add a drop shadow. This time I'm going to use 2% blur, 2-point offset, 40% opacity, and an angle of 315 degrees. Duplicate the tab until you have enough copies. Line them up vertically, Select them all, right-click and align left. Then align them in the center of the page vertically. We want them to appear in between the second and third page, so hit the backward button a few times to send them all backward. Now we'll color the tabs. I'm using the Driftwood color palette that I purchased from Etsy. It's not free, but it's also not expensive. Please support content creators if you use their materials. Otherwise, you can find free color palettes online if you search for them. I'm going to add a picture of the color palette to my page so that I can copy the colors easily with the eyedropper tool. So I'll go to Insert, Choose, and select that image file. Now click on the first tab. In the Style menu, click on the color wheel below the Color Fill drop-down menu. Click on the eyedropper, then click on your chosen color. Then we'll click on the next tab and repeat this process until we've colored all of our tabs. Now select the image and hit Command X to cut. Click Done to exit the slide layout view. Click Add Slide and choose Page. Now every time we add a page to our notebook, it's going to contain these background elements. Notice that we can't click on any element here to edit them. That's because we created this in the slide layout view. This will protect us from accidentally making changes that wouldn't be applied to all of our slides. Now we want to create our section pages. Go back to Edit Slide Layout and click on the first tab, the top paper and the binder rings. Click Command C. Then exit the slide layout view. And on slide 2, click Command V to paste these elements. Command click the binder rings to deselect them. You should have the first tab and the top paper selected. Now click Format, Shapes and Lines, Unite Shapes. This will join the tab to the top paper and it should make everything the same color as that tab. Click Add Slide, Page, and repeat this process to create the remaining 5 tab pages or however many tab pages you need. Next, we're going to add text labels to our tabs. This step is optional. If you do add text labels, once you export this notebook as a PDF, you will not be able to change them later. So if you don't want to commit to labels yet, you have 2 options. You can either leave them blank or you can number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's being non-committal. I'm going to add the text to show you how. So I'll go into the Edit Slide Layout view and add a text box. I'm going to choose the font and size that I like, and I'm going to check the vertical text box. So I'm going to be using the font Herculanum, size 18 point. When we're done adding our text, we're going to click Done to exit the Edit Slide Layout view. You'll notice that our pages have been updated. However, the top tabs are blank. And this is because we pasted a blank tab on top of the background tab. So now we need to manually add those text labels. Go back into the Edit Slide Layout view and copy the text boxes one at a time, and then return to the notebook and paste them on the appropriate tabs. Exit the Edit Slide Layout. Let's create our index page. So add a page slide after the home slide. Insert a rounded rectangle. Resize it and change the corner radius to 30 point. Then you're going to duplicate the shape until you have 6 of them, or however many you need. Line them up vertically and center the group on the page. Click the first shape and then click on the color wheel. Use the eyedropper tool to change the color to match that of the first tab, and then repeat this process to color the remaining shapes. We'll add hyperlinks to these shapes. So click on the first shape, hit Command K, and link to slide number 3. This should be linking to that index slide. Repeat this process to link the remaining shapes, and then add the text labels. Now we're going to add hyperlinks to our tabs. So we're going to do this in the Edit Slide Layout view. So it will apply to all of our slides, all of our page slides. So go to the Edit Slide Layout view, click on the first tab, make sure you select the tab and not the text box. Hit Command K and link to slide 3. Click on the next tab, hit Command K, link to slide 4. Keep going, repeat that process until you've linked all of your tabs. Now we can add our remaining text labels. Again, this step is optional. You can wait and add text boxes to individual pages in your note-taking app if you're not sure how you want it to look yet. The last thing we'll do is to create some blank pages to add to each of our sections. Click Add Slide and choose Page. Let's leave this one blank. Repeat this step, so add another page, and we're going to insert a table to create lined paper. Size the table to fit the page with an acceptable margin. Click to increase the number of rows until you're satisfied with the line height. Then you're going to click to decrease the number of columns to 1 if you want a 1-column layout. In the cell settings, you can click No Border to remove the border, and that way you don't have the vertical lines on the left and the right edges. If we want grid paper, we would do the same thing, but this time we would increase the number of columns until the blocks look square. You can create as many custom page templates as you want. At this point, I recommend copying and pasting at least one page into each section to get you started. You can always duplicate pages once you're in your note-taking app. Now we're ready to export our digital notebook as a PDF file, and this PDF file is the one that you will import into your note-taking app. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you're able to create an awesome customized notebook for whatever it is you're planning to study. Thanks for watching. Take care.